Okay, guys, and welcome back. And we are now live, which is good. So, straight into the action. Second map, Orgless taking a 16-14 victory in the first. No, we are now underway, and let's see what can happen in the second. And it's going to be an interesting prospect. We're talking about a lot of very dangerous players on both teams, and they both showed that they can be super aggressive when they need to be as well. And a lot can be said for pouring en masse into a site from a couple of angles on this map, but also there are chances to make picks as well on your T side. And just flicked on Nikita for a second over towards CT steps. That's a decent little position, but you can get trapped in there. And if you're on point T side, out of apps or out of the A ramp, you can do some serious damage. And Weber, he's already got some attention. Mighty Max taken down to 71, but they've already got some attention. Mighty Max, he is the distraction as the push is now coming straight into the B site. And Connor doing some damage as his reason, but it's not enough really as Weber. Now he's got the chance to make a couple of frags and does take out Pulse from on the site with his upgraded pistol. Release trying to do what he can, but he's chased down and they kind of swarm him in the end, leaving Mighty Max last man standing. He was coming over towards the A site, so his position will be known, and I'm surprised it was as much of an issue for him barreling into the site as it was, but it's 3. Chance for him to get 4 and bring it home. He does not, and Reason to take a barely take a 1 round lead into this thing.
I mean, what a way to start the map. If you're Mighty Max right now, you're going to be feeling extremely good. I'm obviously a little bit sad that he didn't win that, but the 3 frags he did find were phenomenal, and I mean, hopefully we can see sort of that sort of form continue throughout, and we can see him really step up into this map and do something wonderful. At the moment, as you said, it's going to be Reason picking up the first, bringing themselves through to this second round, and facing off against the full pistol armor. And something I found interesting about the pistol, actually, going back to that, was the Orgless seemed to have a read on what Reason were doing. A lot of teams you're going to see quite a minimal A presence, and people will play that retake all the time. Reason had, what, 3-4 people over there, only really 1 man on, well, dedicated on the B site, 1 man towards short, and Orgless took full advantage. Just sucks that it didn't go better for them. And they seem to have a read on the second round as well, as they managed to secure complete control of the A site right from the offset. They get those smokes out, nobody's playing close, and now it's just a matter of getting that bomb down and finding these frags, and they're at least doing one of those 2 things. The frags are raining in right now, as it's going to be a 4 versus 2. Reason and Connor, the last 2 players on the on the Reason side, left to try and fight this one out, and they're both coming from the same angle, but the nade's going to be good to start things off. Mighty Max does get taken down. More damage going to be done. Those release puts that P250 into action. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, and now a 2 versus 1 for Connor to deal with if he wants any chance at taking this. He chucks down a smoke, jumps on top of the box, and going to be looking to see what he can do against the man in CT, but he doesn't get the chance. Pulse is there a little bit too quickly with the MP7, takes him down, and gives us a game right from the start. A 1-1 scoreline after that second round, and Reason forced back down pretty low on the money.
Yeah, for sure, and 2020 hindsight's a wonderful thing, but for Connor, maybe needed to have actually dropped off onto the site, maybe gone for that defuse. It could have perhaps worked out better, but let himself exposed to be caught from behind, and that's exactly what did happen. Reason did a supreme amount of damage, but just weren't able to get enough kills from that spray down through the site. Kita, he's got 1 taken down Pulse before he's traded up. Release gets a TK on Mighty Max in the fire, and Connor's able to get one as well in the meantime. And in that skirmish, it is a 3-2 back in favour of Reason Gaming. So they're going to try and trade this one straight back. And I don't think it's quite clear yet how evenly matched these 2 teams are, but from what we're seeing, I think they are supremely evenly matched. We've got 1 player coming in from behind. It's crucial, and Connor going to try and spill into the site. They've got to move pretty quickly because they haven't got any kits between the 3 of them. So 10-second defuse, they've got to make their move. Release gets 1, PT gets 1 as well, as Reason now picks up. I think he's got enough time to get to the site. That's it. It's going to be a close one, and they are trading backwards and forwards. Another plant for Orgless, so I suspect they have probably got a decent amount of cash to put together a buy if they want, but actually looking at it, it might be a little bit forcey, and yeah, they'd have to drop a couple of weapons between them. Might decide to sit this one out and go for a proper full buy next time out in the 5th round, I think it is, yeah.
Well, I mean, instead, they're going to be doing what sort of, I think, is meta in these situations, which is where you just force back and forth until someone manages to pick up 2. And their force buy actually not going to be looking so forcey when you compare it to Reason's. Obviously, they do have 4 rifles, along with Mighty Max just playing with the Tech 9 and a little bit of utility, but Reason have a couple of SMGs as well as only 1 fully fledged rifle. Apart from that, they're sat on 2 FAMASs, an MP9 and a UMP. not really the ideal weapons, and it does mean that Orgless have a chance to find themselves another, and they're going to be starting things off with a trade as well. Obviously not the best situation possible, but definitely going to be favorable for them moving into this one. It definitely does open up a fair amount of the site from them. Mid control has gone their way. They can find their way into connect to potentially once that smoke clears, and from there, well, it's going to be a wonderful ace split.
And this trade probably going to trade straight back forward to the advantage for Orgless, and they are going en masse into the site. And it's another quick play coming in from there, and I think they realise that the quick plays work well against the Reason CT defence, who maybe aren't playing with a squad that can play together on a regular basis with Crucial's other commitments, for example. We got Reason jumping in as well into the action, wasn't playing last night, so there's a little lack of cohesion maybe in the Reason Gaming side, and that might have something to do with the fact that their CT setup isn't quite as solid as you would have liked. And I think there might be a few questions for Orgless in terms of just how much playtime they're actually getting, judging by how late they are sometimes getting into the action, and maybe that accounts for a little bit of their softness on their CT side. So, you know, a few dynamics, but I think we're seeing both these teams are fairly similar in the way that they approach things. They're super aggressive and can make things happen on their T side. And maybe a few holes in their CT, but it's going to come down to maybe who can exploit those the most.
I mean, as it often seems to in CS. It is that thing with CS, isn't it? Once you have two evenly matched teams, once you have two teams that really can go at each other full force, and realistically picking the better of the two is going to be difficult. You sort of have to rely on that form of CS where it's going to be who makes the most mistakes, who exploits those mistakes the best, because that is going to be what determines the winner at the end of the day. And at the moment, it looks like potentially Reason are going to be in the worst position out of the two. PT starts this round off strong. Reason were already knocked out the strongest weapons, and Reason's going to be dropping as well. He had the M4, he had the strongest weapon, he's already down. It's going to be up to Crucial and Keita with there's some extremely subpar guns to try and come back into this one, and they've got to be quick about it as well. They don't have a kit, so it is going to be up to Crucial to find his way into the site early on, but he started off with 2 frags, and Keita's now coming in to help out from behind with the CZ on short, manages to leave it into a 1 versus 2 situation. PT has to fight this off on his own, and he's going to get spotted out as well. Crucial comes through with the FAMAS, finds himself a 3rd frag, and manages to pick the round up for Reason. So we're not going to be seeing an end to this action just yet, Mark. It is going to be another round traded back.
Yeah, it is, and it feels like too many times is this happening that Orgless, they are first to the punch on these frags, but then, you know, Reason are able to get the kill quicker, and we saw a fair amount of that happening on Nick. It wasn't enough to bring it home for them, as they narrowly missed it by 1 round, but that seemed to be the pattern, is that even though Reason are sometimes second to the punch, they end up picking up the frags more often than not, and you know, I'm actually surprised that that hasn't done more for them so far. There's another opportunity for PT. Could have picked up Crucial, had the opening shot, but Crucial's able to spin and get his aim on point. Especially against an AK, which has got that little bit more power, the one-shot headshot potentially, even with armour. And you know, I think still a bit of crisping up that needs to happen for Orgless, and I guess that's a worrying prospect in if they don't pick up this map. Maybe it will give them the time to get that sharpness in going into Dust 2, and you can argue that maybe they're slightly better at getting themselves into these positions if they are first to the punch, as such as Crucial manages to pick up a frag, and Keita dropping back, so he does some decent damage to Rattlesnake, and from that point, and they're not going to be able to chase him down, so they've got to just watch off his angle, and it's, if nothing else, it's a distraction, and in the time that they're watching for Keita, they can't be looking for these players coming in. Travelator, you know, for Weber, for example. Pos does get one on Keita and does take him down in the end, so that's one less worry, but it gives plenty of time for Weber to come in, clean up 3 frags, and all 3 for him for the round, and it is going to be another round going to Reason Gaming, so 4-2 it is for them.
Yeah, and finally we see somebody picking up 2 in a row, so this should be, as long as everything goes the way it's expected to go, the round where Orgless decide to sit it out a little bit. It's not going to be quite as aggressive as the previous ones have been. They're not going to go quite as aggressive with the buy strategy. Instead, it's going to be some upgraded pistols and a little bit of armor and a smoke strat onto the A site. And this is sort of the perfect strat for the situation when you think about it. As long as they can get the smokes out, as there's only one man playing it, and it's going to be Keita playing passive in CT, they can essentially isolate so much of the site, get that bomb down early on, and fight it out that way. That's if the smokes land. They throw 3 out, but CT doesn't get covered at all. And that means Keita's going to be in prime position to cause all sorts of havoc. Gets the flash in to start things off, and now he's just going to be taking part of that. And for trying to slow them down, but PT's there. And he manages to do the damage. Mighty Max coming in as well. Connor, the only man to find himself any sort of a trade yet. But he's now being helped out by Weber, and that might just be the difference maker. Pulse and Rattlesnake now have everything to do. 2 versus 3. Less favored weapons, only 1 set of armor and no nades to work off of. They're going to have to be perfect with their shots, but right now they can't find anything. And unfortunately that is going to be the way the rest of the round goes. 2 frags for the Orgless side, the bomb plant comes down, so not a bad round by any stretch of the imagination, but another one on the board for Reason. And this is sort of where we're going to be seeing the half take some sort of form. We've got ourselves an actual proper gun round finally.
Yeah, we sure do, and let's see what Rattlesnake can do with the AWP. So double AWP set up Keita and Crucial. I'm guessing Keita isn't going to move from his spot at CT steps, and he's not. So let's see if Crucial is going to get himself into the mid, and he's doing that from the short instead. And he's not going to get too much attention just yet for the time being. So let's see. Have a little look across to Rattlesnake and where he's trying to make a pick, and he's looking out towards the A site. Doesn't seem like anyone from Reason is going to commit and walk into his crosshairs just at this stage. So, you know, we're in an interesting little spot by the double boost, so, or the double boxes. But from there, at least, oh no, Keita, and it's like we're watching old school Train as Keita manages to get the frag, even though he was partly blind, I think, from a flash that went over. So nice work there, and you know, in the meantime, though, it does get traded back. Weber's probably going to pick up 2 if he's not picked up, if he doesn't give the game away. Crucial taken down by the steps, and Weber, he's not giving himself away at all. He's going to sit there, and they haven't looked for him. Now he has, and now he's got to move, I think. He's been spotted from the apps, doesn't pick up that frag in there, and you know, Mike Max now makes very light work of him. So Orgless is now back in the ascendancy, 4 versus 2. We've got Pulse up in the app, so he's going to be quite deadly from there. Reason top of mid, Connor over towards the B, and they are going for the save here. Not so much because they need it, I don't think, because they can probably put a buy together, but you know, it's more a case of nothing that could be got for it, and I'm just going to let this one tick out, and it is going to be Orgless bringing it to well, just a 2-round deficit they're up against again.
Yeah, they are trying to put themselves back in contention, and honestly, from the way the game's been playing out so far, I don't know, I think the score's a little bit deceptive. I think the fact Reason are on 5 and Orgless are on 3 is sort of a decent amount of luck, because when you look at it, Orgless have managed to get that bomb down all rounds but 2. The pistol round and the round following are the only 2 rounds this game where they've not managed to secure some sort of a plan, and just speaking from the perspective of the CT side, that's going to be extremely worrying for Reason. If you can't stop them getting that bomb down, then there's going to be so many rounds slipping through your fingers, and they are going to have to put a stop to it at some point very soon indeed. This round, however, at the moment, they're not going to be able to do a huge amount to begin things off. Reason does have a little bit of a look into apartments, and I think does manage to spot the 2 players there, but they're just going to be falling on back after getting that smoke out, taking the bomb with them and readjusting. There's no ground gained for Reason Gaming, at least until I say it, and Crucial manages to find himself a shot in mid. So that is going to be the advantage they look for, and the advantage they tend to be looking for in every single round. It's answered, though.
And so Rattlesnake gets a pick into the mid, so that brings us back even. 5-3 in rounds, 4-4 in players left alive with a minute left to go on the clock as well. Weber up in the mid window, catches himself a nade, but does practically naff all to him. Only 2 points of health lost there. Rattlesnake going to be able to look across into the A area, but again, they're not going to walk into his scope. There's no real reason to do that and commit to that kind of angle, but Weber, he's up in the window, so he's taken 1, and he's going to try and bluff himself out there with flashes, smokes, etc. And, you know, the falling player, I'm not sure who that was, but jumped pretty much right in front of Weber. He was caught with a smoke in his hand, so he couldn't do too much about it as Mighty Max. He's now got himself up there, and he does manage to take Keita from behind the box and attacks him with a headshot. And Keita, he hasn't got his weapon out. I think he's trying to use some utility to get himself out of there, but isn't able to do so as the plant now comes in. Retake needed. Rattlesnake picks up Weber. You know, maybe stalled for a half a second there. That might have given Weber the chance, but you know, with iron sights against the scope, it's tough to sometimes see those frags. And you know, Orgless are finely poised, but in a good position to bring themselves to just 1 round behind. There's Reason there to get 1. Rattlesnake takes Connor as he tries to make his way into the site, and Reason are still going for this, but Now 2v1, probably not in their favour. Reason goes down, and it is going to be 5-4. Slender lead for Reason.
Indeed, slender and shrinking at the moment as it shrinks to 1. It disappears almost, and this round does look like the one we're going to finally see them tying things up at 5 apiece, because Reason, they're back down to the pistols. They have next to nothing to work with. I think Keita, the only man there, sat with armor. Everybody else just working with something a little bit upgraded, apart from Connor, who's hardly going to afford that, and it's going to mean these shots are going to have to be perfect, but from the beginning, indeed, they are. Weber and Reason picking up 1 apiece, and Crucial coming in with one of his own now. So as they're traded back, they managed to find some more. And Reason is still showing themselves to be a dominant, scary presence. 1 versus 3 now for Mighty Max as Crucial finds his second in the round, and he has to figure out what he wants to do. He has the bomb on his back, he can take it away. But is he instead going to be looking to see what he can find in terms of frags? There's 2 men to get. Neither of them have armor, but Crucial now has an AK-47 in his hand, and that could be the thing that makes all the difference here. That could be the one worrying decider. Mighty Max is going to have to find out soon, because he can't sit still for long, but he looks like he's in a position where he can line them up, finds the first, but runs out of ammo. Has to fall back, gets the chance to reload. Now on 15 HP. With the clock ticking down, he's going to have to make a move, and it just really who blinks first at this point. Connor, obviously, without the armor, going to be a very easy shot indeed. At the same time, 1 or 2 bullets from that USP is going to be enough to do it, and at the moment, it's just a Mexican standoff, essentially. Finally, Connor is able to catch a glimpse, finds the shot as well, and manages to save the AWP for his team, and that is one of those crazy rounds you can sort of expect to see when teams like this go up against one another. Beautiful pistol play, and a win in a round that they really never should have had.
No, that's very true, and I think all of us will be looking at that and ruining their missed opportunity, and they were in a perfect position to really start to turn the screw on the pressure that builds up when you got CT economy, especially on Mirage, where it can end up, where you end up in a real run of lost rounds as such. It's a real difficult one for you going forward sometimes on that CT side, and on T side actually, where even if you can keep on putting those buys together, if you just can't find that round, that opportunity to get yourself into the game, it can be a real struggle. And Orgless had the opportunity to really put the boot in on Reason Gaming, but instead, despite Mike Max's attempts to bring home a clutch, that doesn't quite pan out all that well. So they'll try and work again. They don't have any problems getting themselves into sites, getting these picks, and maybe it's just being able to hold those off that ends up being the key. And Connor goes down. He's sitting out in the open, and I understand trying to change up your angles, but if you're going to do that and you're not going to have site players rushing into the site, then maybe it's not the best position for you to be in. You're just leaving yourself exposed, and if 3-4 of them come up and surprise you, it's difficult to then flick from headshot to headshot to headshot and pick those up. PT probably going to pick up Reason as he tries to rotate in from behind and does pick up that frame. 4-3 is in favour of Orgless again. Plant is down on the site and they're going to wait, and that smoke is covering the plant nicely. It's out in the open. Mighty Max and Rattlesnake get 1 apiece, and Rattlesnake's in there with his AWP, and that's 3 for him in the round. Rattlesnake surprised me at how quiet he's been kept in the recent couple of weeks, but now starting to wake up, do some damage with that AWP, and with the times that he's spending in deathmatch in between these, you're kind of thinking maybe he's not feeling as comfortable as he'd like, maybe not putting the hours in as much as he'd like, and it's starting to pay off now. He's woken up, and hey Orgless, how you guys been? We haven't seen this from you in weeks, and I'm really glad to see it. We've got one hell of a game on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's close as well right now. 6-5, and it's going to be Reason back on the sort of round they did manage to pick up a 4. But looking a lot less like this time. Crucial and Connor already dropped, and Keita and Reason look to be the next 2 to go. 1 spray down from Mighty Max, another frag from Pulse, and that is going to be it. A tied game once again, 6-6 the current score, and either team really in a position where they could start to pull ahead. Obviously, Reason still a little bit behind. They're going to be back on the pistols this round, as they are in the process of a double eco, and that's going to allow Orgless a little bit more time to get some money together. So we're expecting to see the lead come out here. More than the lead, a little bit of security, and that's something that I think both teams will sorely be wanting throughout this matchup. It's beautiful, and it's going to be another round where Orgless look to be doing well against the pistols. Again, there's going to be no repeat performances of Reason's magic round. it's just going to be a shutdown every time they anti-eco from now because they know what to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. It's been far too easy, and they're just soaking up the pressure, absorbing it, picking up the frags, and Spike Pass going down to low HP, and Rattlesnake gets dinked down to 39 as well with a couple of crisp deagle shots coming in from Weber, but it doesn't quite find the headshot. And they do have a couple of players that could end up dropping and be a chance to just pile on the pressure on the economy a little bit, but they do pick up that flawless victory. And the only team that's feeling the pressure right now is perhaps Reason Gaming. They can go for a full buy up, but full rebuy needed. They're working a triple AWP setup. I don't know if that's miscommunication or this is the plan, but if you have a look at the cash, they have only got $200 between all 5 of them left in their pockets, and they haven't lost enough rounds to get a full loss bonus in either. Only dropped 3 so far, so this is going to be tough for them to get themselves back into this here if they don't get this round now. Bring it back even to 7-all.
It's going to be near impossible. This one, though, is either genius or madness with the triple AWP setup. It could work quite well. Obviously, Weber's sacrificing armor to get there. Crucial and Keita sacrificing a fair amount of utility, and that's the one thing that really worries me about this buy, is the fact that they've had to give up so much to get it on the board. If they had the money to pick up the AWPs and pick up everything else with them, yes, I can see the merit. When you're going to have basically Reason and Connor as the 2 players you rely on to get those nades out, to have the smokes, to have the flashes, then maybe you're putting a little bit too much pressure on a couple of players, and maybe you're not spreading things out the way you should be doing it. But, for the moment, we are still in the process of waiting to find out what the AWPs are going to be capable of, because Orgless are taking a very slow round. Almost uncharacteristic from what we've been seeing so far, but they just hold it off, make sure they keep that presence going, and then Rattlesnake bursts in with one from underpass as the rest of his team head over to A to set up, and that might be exactly what they need. The attention's being drawn to mid. There's still so much space left on that A site, and if they go for a smoke execute again, the sort of thing they've been going for round after round at this point, it's going to essentially be another free bomb site and another situation where Reason are forced into the retake with 3 AWPs. I don't see a retake happening, honestly.
No, as soon as you realise that you've got a couple of AWPs that you're dealing with, you just got to sit in behind the boxes, haven't you? And if someone's going to find you from behind and spam you through it and get a headshot, well, you kind of have to say fair play, and you just outgame me on that particular instance. But the chance of that happening, well, it's kind of slim, and you're going to sit there spamming off an AWP, then you're giving away your position as far as sound goes. And when you're up against it 4v3, then it's quite easy for one player to step out from an angle that you might not be spamming towards and pick you off. So it's a bit of a risky one. Pulse ends up getting one of the frags, Mighty Max gets the other, and it's another pretty much clean sweep apart from Rattlesnake, who traded off during the early stages. Orgless take an 8-6. Now, Reason going to be scrubbing with whatever they can get, but you'd expect this is going to go 9-6 on T side. Not the end of the world necessarily for Reason. I know you would argue this is a T-sided map for the most part. It's one of those, it depends on how it gets played though. We know Reason will be more aggressive, and I think the key is going to be whether Orgless' CT setup is going to be strong enough, and maybe this is a chance then to bring it home 2-0 after all. Who would have thought us saying that? Reason though, he's got 2, and maybe he can bring this thing home with a pistol because he's got himself an AK and he gets himself a 3rd frag. Connor trades off the Rattlesnake. What can he do with the AWP in hand? This is his chance to show off and put in a captain's performance, if you like, against these 2 players. The AWP is going to make it difficult from up in the apps, and maybe he needs to think about getting himself a rifle before he takes on these pistols.
That, or he's just going to keep playing with a big green gun, keep seeing what he can do with it. Instead, though, at the moment, looking like he wants to be using the Tech 9, just switching between the 2 of them, and he doesn't know where these players are. That's something important. He's seen one, the other one he's not so sure about, because you can see him checking short. That flash, I'm hoping that flash gave it away to him, because he knows that there's going to be one actually on the site in the form of Connor, and Weber has just given him the smallest glimpse of his shoulder. Going to be peeking out again, but Rattlesnake can't react. He's got about 50 seconds to play with, so there is time to get something done here. But again, as long as Reason play it slow, as long as they don't give him the chance to shoot at them, they're going to be just fine. He's going to have to go hyper-aggressive and try and put in a huge performance, but he does switch out to a gun where it's viable, grabs the AK, and yet still loses his life, so we're not even going to be seeing the 9-6 mark. Reason, off the back of an awful buy, managed to grab themselves a 7th and take this one to a fairly even half.
And that's going to make it interesting. Going to come down to this pistol again, isn't it? It's another one of those. The second half pistol and the direction that goes might end up setting the tone for the way that the game pans out as a whole for Orgless. If they pick it up, will probably be able to get themselves through, unless a plant comes in, of course, to 11 to 7. No reason. If they do get a plant, might be able to force up on the third, and that's going to help. Connor takes down Mighty Max straight off the bat, and Reason is able to get PT. So now they're moving over in that direction, and they've not even hit onto the A site yet, but Rattlesnake, he's taken one player out from distance. Does a bit of damage to Crucial as well, who's made his way to the site, and oh, Rattlesnake, see you later.
Yeah, Pulse left as the last man, unfortunately. For Orgless, he's going to be shut down quickly as well, so Reason surviving that with 4 players left alive. And doing a great job of coming into this second half strong. And this is where I sort of have to fall back and agree with you. Reason, extremely dominant team on the T side. We've been seeing that throughout their progress in this tournament as a whole. And when you give them an opening, they're going to be taking it. So if Orgless's CT isn't ridiculous, if Orgless don't have an extremely well-regimented CT side, they're going to be finding themselves in all sorts of painful situations, and it might just be the chance Reason needs in this second half, especially with that pistol round, to come into this one, take it to 3-man, and put up a huge fight.
Yeah, rule nothing out, and a bit like what we saw last night, these two teams gunning it out on a bit of dust too. Could be a super exciting prospect, and plenty of little highlight clips to put up on the social media if that happens, I am sure. But at the moment, this is going to be a little slower. Already got Rattlesnake, he's gone down for the Orgless side. Weber down to 30 points of health in that battle, but it was Crucial that ended up picking up the frag. Connor going to have a little battle with Release up in the apps, but while he's getting tied up in there, there is time for the rest of the team to make their way in, and instead Release has got another prospect to deal with. That's Crucial trying to get up, all up in his grill, and he does, but Release is not having that, so Connor is going for a second bite of the cherry then. Let's see if he can take Release out, and he does. In the meantime, he's got teammates swarming all over the site, and Mighty Max and PT, though, they're digging their heels in. They're not allowing this to happen, and maybe this is the first chance to fight back for Orgless. 3v2, they have the advantage. They haven't really got a weapon advantage, but Keita, 8 HP with an MP7 in hand. There's not a whole lot he can really do with that, and he can get taken out straight away, and that's the bomb dropped on the site. Connor down to 19 points of health as well, so he is probably going to get caught, and I think this is going to be a round for Orgless.
Well, yeah, I mean, what can Connor really do at this point? You can see him throwing that bomb and trying to make his way back. I'm not sure where he thought he was going with that. Trying to make his way back anywhere, I guess, just to try and find some sort of new angle at it, but unfortunately, it's not going to be working out, and so we're going to be seeing a little bit of a repeat of the first half, Mark. We've seen the T's pick up one. Last one, obviously, it was the CTs. Reason seemed great at finding those pistol rounds, but Orgless came straight back into it with a second. They managed to find themselves that one. They managed to take themselves to 9, and if they can put a solid 2 straight here, if they can beat Reason's Eco or Force Spy, they're going to be in such a wonderful position moving forward. It's going to be double digits, and from that point, they can just work themselves through to the victory. They're going to have the stronger economy, the stronger everything, but Reason managed to start it off. They're trying to pull it out of the bag, and they tend to do well in these high-pressure situations. Connor finds the first frag, and nobody drops just yet. In return, as Orgless don't even catch a glimpse of the majority of them. I think Reason the only man really to give his position away. Past that, they'll know roughly where they are, but they're not going to be seeing anything too specific, and you can see why. Reason want to get in close to the Tech-9s. They want to be able to put the aggression on without too much forewarning, and when they do, it's going to be working out perfectly. Weber manages to find himself one as they push towards that B bomb site. It's completely open. So this is going to be a plant. It is going to have to be a retake, and it's just going to be, can Orgless with the better weapons beat out the numbers that Reason currently possess?
Well, we'll have to see, and it might come down to Reason might want to use those men to try and catch people before they even get on the rotate, and that's exactly what's happening. Crucial has tagged someone down, and he just cleaned up. That's Release, so Mighty Max against 5. Yeah, this is going to be 9. Impossible for him to bring this one home, I think, and he's almost definitely going to try and save, get some exits, that kind of thing. Little chance to have a look at the money, and he is pretty strapped, actually. PT can probably put a buy together, maybe Pulse as well, but aside from that, no such luck. And Weber taking down the 23 points of health, narrowly misses that nade, and I don't think he's going to try and get involved, but it means Mighty Max is going to get no exit frags. He's going to keep hold of that M4, bit of utility and head armor going forward, which could be quite useful for the rest of the team. No real buy coming in, and Reason peg it back. We're back to 9-0. It's going to be another close one, whatever happens here this second map.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I was actually expecting maybe to see a little bit of a force play coming out of Orgless here. I was thinking that's justifiable considering what happened in the first half and considering how you tend to play those situations. And it would have been viable, but instead they decide they're going to be leaving it out for this one. As you said, trying to build that cash up, trying to come into the buy rounds as quickly as they possibly can, and so it's going to be mostly pistols. Mighty Max, the man who saved in the last round, the only man to really have anything. Unfortunately, he's going to be towards the right side. Currently playing Ladderum, he is going to be in prime position if they enter B to just swing around and catch them in the long distance, and indeed he's going to be doing just that. Him and Rattlesnake picking up 3 between them to start things off here. And giving Orgless the advantage early on. People over the MP7 going to be seeing what he can do, but he can only find one before he gets taken out, and suddenly, just like that, it's all up to Connor. AK in hand, 2 to deal with, and Release has managed to find himself a scout. I'm not sure how useful that's going to be, especially when Connor stood on top of him. But he will still manage to find the kill, this time with the P250 instead. As we see things swing back once again, and honestly, I don't think anybody was expecting that. I don't think Orgless were expecting that with the buy they had, but what it's going to do is it's going to allow for them to get a full buy in. Obviously, due to that save, they have some money, and we're seeing AWPs and M4s coming out as a result. Reason, on the other hand, are going to be strapped with 3 AKs and a couple of pistols. This is far from perfect situation for this is far from a perfect situation for them. And potentially where we're going to be seeing Orgless step up, and Rattlesnake does just that to start the round off.
And what a way to go. There's Rattlesnake with his second as well, so Rattlesnake, welcome to the game. He's stepping up now when they need it most to bring home this map if they can. Try to steal one off of Reason Gaming. And now Rattlesnake does get taken down by Weber in the end from the window. So they've got mid control. And whether Org just want to try and do something about that and push a player in there, but instead they are satisfied with Mighty Max getting a little aggressive on the apartment. So the further he pushes through there, the more information he's going to get about where this play is going to be coming from. And they are wary of this mid control, but you know, with the player up close, I think that's Reason. They're going to get the information as to whether there's going to be a push coming from Apps or Ramp, and at the moment there is almost definitely not. So I think they know that this is coming in from Connector, and they've got plenty of angles. So basically got a crossfire set up when the entry into the site comes in. Release has got one, so he needs help from PT though. What can he do? Well, he gets taken down, and oh, that is a missed opportunity. PT needed to make that frag. If he did, it would have been a completely different kettle of fish. But instead it's going to be down to Mighty Max. How quick can he get on the rotate? His pulse gets taken out, and the answer is too slow. Missed opportunity here, I think, and Mighty Max may well go for this. He nearly picked up a clutch right at the beginning, I believe, but this is going to be tough for him to try and take this, and they've just spread out across the map. Again, they've set up that same crossfire. It's kind of like a kill shoot if Mighty Max wants to go and try and take this bomb. Pushing through the smoke is always a dangerous prospect. He does have the kit, so he's going to sit on it. Maybe he can pull the Nilzinho. He's going for it. Can he do it? That is so close. Oh, tense.
Yeah. If that had have happened twice over 2 days, I don't know. That would have been something very, very wrong. If Reason had have allowed that to happen there, things would have gone. I assume somebody would have been tilted. So I'm guessing they're pretty glad at the moment that they actually did manage to spot that one out, and the frag did come in, however late it was. And as well as that means they're going to be up against a much softened Orgless right now. Orgless, though, they're not going to be letting that bother them. They're not going to be letting that stop them. Instead, they decide they're going to be putting everything into a buy once more. Mighty Max and Rattlesnake coming in with the AWPs on themselves. Everybody else just going to be stuck with the pistols, and Release even going with no armor. They also have no nades, and it's what I'd call a very, very questionable buy indeed, as they're going to have really not a lot to work with into the late game. Reason have taken this one fairly slow in comparison, and as long as they don't get caught in those close angles, they're going to be in a great, great way entering the sites. But as I say that, of course, PT and Pulse managed to find themselves a fragger piece with the pistols. They do manage to pick up those AKs and give the man advantage as well as potentially the weapons advantage. Mighty Max going to be continuing with the AWP, manages to find one, does get answered upon by Crucial, but that's a whole lot of information gained. They know where the bomb is. They know where he's gone. The only man that's a bit of an unknown quantity at the moment is going to be Weber, and his position should be fairly obvious soon, especially for Pulse. Turns around, can't find it in time, and it is going to be 2 versus 2.
It sure is, and PT, so they've got a decent little position they want to go for this. Crucial's probably going to push for it, most likely. He's not going to be too scared about facing, for Mighty Max, he did get the 1 frag with his AWP up in the apps, but with the greatest respect to Max, there are players that are AWPers, and there are players that are riflers that can AWP, and Max, I think, almost definitely in the second category, and that might be why he was kind of caught switching rather than actually making that second frag, but it might well be okay. 2v1, Crucial. Now we know he's got the ability to pull this one off potentially, and oh, he misses that shot and releases that. Maybe game over. Release doesn't know where he's coming from, and Crucial pulls it out. 4K for him. Round on the board, and Reason again take the lead from 10-all. They bring it to 11-10, and that buy. Well, it was going to be a problem anyway, wasn't it, that buy, even if Orgless picked up the round, but they haven't, and now they are stuck onto a full eco.
I'm still in disbelief about the 17 HP 2v1 clutch, and I mean, it's just beautiful. And as you said, this round should be fairly easy as a result. Obviously, Orgless a little bit strapped for cash, aren't going to have too much up. Just going to be the pistols again, which have been a little bit of a danger. We've seen some frags coming out, but they've never managed to really... Well, they've never managed to win rounds consistently, so Reason feeling pretty confident. It's just going to be Mighty Max left with a USP in hand. They should be feeling even more confident right now. However, if Crucial gets caught and he doesn't spot where Mighty Max is coming from, there is a good chance he's going to get taken out, and indeed he is. Save the AWP. Take that away. You're not going to be taking this one. This is where the decision-making is going to come into it. Does Mighty Max go to see if he can find the picks, or does he just pull back, keep that AWP in his hands, and play it through to the next round where it's going to be doing the most? Unfortunately, he does choose to make the right decision in the end. Takes it up towards... Apparently not. Okay. He's... I will never understand some people. He is dedicated to trying to find those frags. Finally, I think, realizes it's going to be impossible and heads away. But still watching the angle. He wants the exit at least.
And ends up missing it by a mile, actually. It's got a...
no! Sorry. Oh.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, that's painful. That's painful. He had, like, 4 opportunities to save that AWP. Decides to go for the exit. As you said, misses it by a mile, and then just ripped to shreds from behind, and he knows they're not going to want him to hold on to it.
No, is exuberance of youth the correct term? I know Mike Max is one of the sort of younger players and up-and-coming players that you got to watch out for, and supremely talented. There's a reason why he's top of the scoreboard at the moment, and he's one of those very difficult players that can drift and will make those pushes that you're not quite expecting, and you can kind of see that in his save play. But it is a save play, and you've got to think about the priorities more often than not. And as far as economy goes, having that AWP, you're talking, what, 5 grand for an AWP plus whatever utility you're bringing home. You're not going to inflict 5 grand's worth of damage onto the other team unless you're going to go through and win the round, which was never going to be the deal there as such. And especially looking at how Reason are building, especially on the T side, you've got to kind of think about all of these factors when you make your decisions. And I think he could have put himself in a better position to save than he did, let's put it that way, as Flash is now raining in over towards this A site. It's still just about in the advantage for Orgless. They have the numbers and they do have the weapons, and that's going to help from Rattlesnake as he takes down Connor 4v2. Bomb still not planted, and they're trying to set up that crossfire again, and they do. Mighty Max and Rattlesnake getting a frag apiece to bring that thing home, and they have brought it again to within 1 round. Orgless going to be trying to build their bankroll. They can buy again next time out, pretty much whatever happens. For Reason, they have got no concerns either. They can keep on buying for a little while, but they are going. That's the Tech 9s. Yeah, 3 Tech 9s. So a little bit of a scrubby one. Going to try and pick up some of these weapons if they can. And Orgless going to be rocking some of those AKs. So they've got one-shot headshot potential, all apart from Crucial have bought head armor, but that's going to be nullified if they run up against those AKs.
Yeah, but it's one of those fortunate buys where it is actually something useful. With the 3 Tech 9s on the board, that could be the difference between life and death, and they're going to be finding that out sooner rather than later. Right now, though, it's going to be Pulse to start things off. No headshot needed, just a nade and a spray down. Finds himself 2. PT going to be the next man up, manages to spot Keita out and finds a frag almost instantly, so it's going to be a great job from Orgless in the start. 3 frags in a matter of seconds, and Reason and Connor left, trying to figure out what they can do and how they can do it, but they're opposite sides of the map. They don't have control of the bomb. It's looking like the round's almost over before they've even had a chance.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. And Reason going to be right up against it if they don't pick this one up. Maybe try and do some economic damage if they can, because at the moment it's going to allow Orgless to build their bankroll if they get a flawless victory. So if they can drop a couple of these weapons, force rebuys, then it might be beneficial for them going forward. Kind of like a moral victory, if nothing else. Thinking about the prospect of these remaining rounds, 6 rounds of normal time once this one's over, and Mighty Max in the spray down, and they do get that flawless victory. 12 all it is, and with 6 rounds left to go in regulation time, if you like, it might come down to which way the money's going to swing, and at the moment it's going in favour of Orgless. They're going to go for a buy here. If Reason can't get a plant out of this pistol strat, they might struggle to get up an AWP if they want to. Yeah, and it's another one of those where I think Orgless, it's theirs to lose here.
Definitely. If they manage to lose to this, they're going to be, I don't know, I wouldn't say ridicule, but definitely questioned. Fortunately, at the beginning, it does look like they're going to be coming into it extremely strong. Pulse with a beautiful 3-man spray down and a wonderful full out of the pistol. And obviously, Rattlesnake starting it off with a headshot. So, as you said, it was theirs to lose. And fortunately for them, they managed not to. They shut the mid push down entirely. Found themselves that 13th round, and now all they really have to do to close this out is beat Reason here. They're going to have a decent amount of bonus, but when you look at the fact that, what, 3 of their players are currently sat... Actually, no, sorry, 2 of their players are sat under $100, 2 of them are sat on 150. It's going to be round 15 on the board if they take this one, as far as I can see it, because it should be this and then another almost full eco, maybe some upgraded pistols, but... First, they have to win it, and the aggression might not work out. Pulse, however, does manage to start it off strong, finds himself the first, and it's going to be Keita with the Tech 9, the other man he has to worry about. They chuck the molly down to cover the retreat, fall back, and take their advantage with them. Wonderful way to start. Rattlesnake going to be the next man up, manages to create himself out 1-for-1, which usually would be an issue, but with the advantage already on their side, it's not going to be too bad at all. Reason still just fighting for some sort of advantage here, and they're not going to be finding it anywhere. Mighty Max this time. Coming in with a couple of frags of his own, and they're just dominating. They're finding everything they need to, and doing it in style as they leave Keita as the last. Bomb in hand, a decent amount of time on the clock, but really very few options.
And to be honest, I was clenching a little bit when I saw Pulse go for that very early push. Now, I guess with a teammate Mighty Max there bolstering up, it would have been a trade, and perhaps a risky little play given the circumstances, but then at times like that, when you're thinking the team isn't going to go aggro on you, and you do, then it does catch people off guard, and it seems like that's been the plan. Keita, so he's got the bomb up in hand, and he's got the envious task of trying to get a plant and get another $800 into the coffers, and no such luck as Mighty Max is able to pick him up with his 3rd of the round. 14-12, and I think you might be bang on right there, Brod, with your prediction. This is probably going to go 15. If it's not, then it's going to be a botched, well, Tech 9 bash. If nothing else, Keita, he's got himself an AK, so maybe that's a chance for him to make a pick release with the AWP up. So let's see what's Release going to do with that. Is he going mid-window with it? No, he's just sitting over towards the A, so I'm going to put the AWP up in mid just yet. Back to Mighty Max solo on B, so interesting prospects ahead. Orgless within a fraction of taking this thing 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was saying that this would be 15, I was expecting them to be playing a little bit more conservatively, but at the moment, they've just decided they're going to go for it. Full throttle, whatever happens, they are completely willing to go for it. It might just work. They start things off nicely with the Tech 9s, a 2-for-1 trade coming in towards that connector area, and it gives them the numbers to push towards B side. Mighty Max is going to be the man there at the moment they have to worry about, and if these two just decide to go for it, if Keita and Reason realize what they can do, and if they had that support from short, then it would have been a very easy take indeed. Right now, though, they're going to be playing it a little bit more carefully. Weber, watching behind, manages to spot one, and that could be the catalyst. That could be the thing they needed to tell them to make the move, and indeed they do. Mighty Max has to hold the site, and unfortunately he can't. So it's going to be PT and Release forced onto the retake here. And it's not a situation I'd want to be in, especially as this could be Reason's chance to get back into the game, essentially.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And PT is going to have someone looking in his direction straight off the bat and release into the kitchen. And that AWP is going to be a tough ask for them. Both of them have got a kit, so they only need 5 seconds to defuse that bomb, and I think they are now deciding as PT falls out that they are going to perhaps save this one. Although Release is still tempted, he's still going to peek a few more angles and make sure. And they've got to watch out for Weber. He's got to try and wrap in from behind, so he might be able to drop this AWP of Release if he's not careful. And now they are tempted to go and chase and try and upset the economy even further, but not going to happen. So weapons being brought across, and Release does pick up a frag on Reason, so that's going to dent things just a little bit. It's going to be a chance for rebuys or full buys to come in for the Reason boys. Orgless now again can drop as well, so they're back to a double AWP setup, and they should be good to go. PT, what's he going to go for? Got weapon on the floor. Right, okay, so Orgless had the chance to bring that thing home. They still do. They've still got a very healthy buy. They've still got kits, got armour, they've got 2 AWPs. So they're still okay, but little wobble, one missed opportunity. Can they bring it home here now?
Oh, they're definitely going to be starting it off strong. Release finds himself the first, and PT grabs another right after. Now it is definitely up to Reason to find themselves something back into this one, but Crucial's not being given the chance. A nade, then a Molotov to shut him completely out of connector, and he knows where PT is. He can't do anything about it. Finally gets a glimpse, but the headshot doesn't come through. So this is going to be more and more positions given away, more and more damage being dealt to the Reason side, and nothing really coming back from it. Still, 5 versus 3, and I mean, even though there's still a lot of time on the clock, the health is ticking down for Reason right now. Connor going to be on 20 HP, Weber is still on full. But at the moment, it looks like the numbers game says Orgless should take this round, unless we see a ridiculous clutch come out, and unless we see what? Weber going huge, finding himself 3-4 frags. This one should be match point on the board right now.
Yeah, you would think so. And so a little glance at the finances, and judging by that, unless I can get a plant in here, it could well be GGWP. Sorry, is a reset coming in effectively, and Release has got the chance on 1. Connor's last man standing. He does get 1. That's probably going to be all that he can get, and the chance of getting a plant against 4 players. Oh, Release! He nearly took Rattlesnake, bro. A little bit of tension in the Orgless side then.
That's something we don't need. Well, that's something they don't need at this point, and I don't need because, oh dear, it's horrible to say. Fortunately, they don't, and Mighty Max is able to go through and find himself the last frag with no further casualties occurring. So this is what looks to be Orgless' game at the moment. I mean, as you said, if no plant came in, Reason's money is not going to be in a good state whatsoever, and indeed it isn't. You got Crucial with a single AK, you got 4 Tech 9s backing it up, a fair amount of utility for what they had, but only 1 smoke and 1 Molotov, so apart from that it's just going to be flashes, and this is where you got a question, can they pull this thing off twice? Can they take this sort of buy twice and make it work both times, or is it going to be 16-13 and a shutout here?
Well, that's going to help Rattlesnake, and unlike Mighty Max's play this position, Rattlesnake is kind of a full-time AWPer, if you like, and he gets 2, but he's caught by the on-rushing players. Keats is going to grab himself an AWP and do what he can. He's taken out by Pulse. Well, Keats is able to get 1. Weber on the short, so he's brought it back to 2 versus 2. He's got a player jumping through, and Mighty Max, what are you doing? Just get ready to make the frag, and... Oh. Okay, so...
They do it twice.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I shouldn't be surprised, should I? At this point, from what we've seen over the past couple of days, I should just be going, yep, standard. They make that work twice. It is what it is. But they do, and it does mean that we're going to be seeing this one go to 30 rounds, and it looks like overtime's a possibility at the moment. I mean, it's going to be probably one of the most even buys in the game so far. And this is one that I really couldn't call, but I'm so interested to find out how this is going to play out. Rattlesnake initially trying to see what he can do with some presence in mid, but he can't find the frag. Instead, loses his life early on and gives Reason the advantage they so sorely desire right now. Going to be a 5 versus 4 situation. Reason gaining more and more control of the map and not giving anything up in return. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. Realistically, they can push wherever they want, and they're just going to continue to try and find new angles to exploit. PT, though, comes in, finds himself 1. The man on short doing more and more damage, but Pulse does get dropped in the end. So things are going to be kept relatively even. Reason still in the lead by a hair. This is probably the best way to close a map like this out.
And it does, and there's the bomb going down. PT takes the spot. A Rattlesnake was occupying in the mid window. Crucial with the AWP is effectively a glass cannon with his 6 points of health. He's got to fear those nades. He's got to fear everything. And Mighty Max is coming in from behind. He might have a play on Reason, one of the healthy players in the team. And he does make the frag. Make the frag. There we go. And, yeah, it's just one of those. You could just see with the way that things have been panning out, someone else jumping in from behind or, you know, anything going wrong there. And he does end up picking that thing up. So, this is tense. 20 seconds. Bomb in the mid. Not a great position for anyone. And they've got to try and work on this. It's just going to be trying to slow up. Just make sure this plant can't come in, surely, for the player over towards B, which has been the chosen site. Crucial. You know, just covered by the smoke. You know, he's going to be so soft, so squishy. And he's taken out straight away. So plant needs to come in last 5 seconds. And I think we have the GG. And this weapon can go huge. Get 3 players. He doesn't. Diffuse comes in. And we start off 2 maps, 2 Orgless, but 16-14s. Reason took them all the way. And what a way to start off this Sunday. Who needs to be watching the Charity Shield, eh? Whew, what a game.